live streaming. What up, y'all? Got a couple of people in here already. What's poppin'? Let me wait for a couple more people to roll in. On this Saturday, this Saturn's Day, y'all. What up? It is Saturn's Day. And Saturn is not bad, goddammit. It depends on how you use it. So, always remember. What up, y'all? Remember, Saturn is not bad. It all depends on how you use the energy. They are using the energy when Saturn has flipped and fallen. We used it when Saturn was at its height. So, as long as you know what Saturn means, Saturn is about karma and hard work and growth through hard work. As long as you know that, man, implement that Saturn energy. You need Saturn. You need hard work. You need the cause and effect type of energy. So, happy Saturn's Day, y'all. What up? Oh, appreciate you too. Man, so we're going to talk about a couple of things. It's a little bit. I haven't done a live stream in a minute. And so that's actually the first thing I wanted to talk to y'all about. Why? So people ask me, why don't you do more videos? Oh, man, appreciate you. What's that, Roderick? What up? Roderick Rose, appreciate you, boy. So why don't I do more videos? Because I'm busy. Goddamn. I told y'all these videos, it takes time to do these videos. Not the live streams as much, but it does take time to prepare for the live streams. But I'm busy a lot. So dealing with, regular business, Patreon, sending you guys books, all that type of stuff. So, consultations, because you got a lot of you guys wanting to do one-on-one consultations. So that doesn't leave a lot of time. So, but also the main reason why I don't do a lot of videos is because I'm not trying to be a YouTuber out here, drumming up subscriptions, even though the subscriptions are cool, but I only care about the subscriptions if it's people who harmonize with the information. I'm not trying to be no big super channel and shit like that. That ain't my, that's not my goal. My goal is to pass on this information that the universe has entrusted in me, and pass it on to you to reawaken you in your godhood. So, that's why oh man, appreciate you, Sweet D. Appreciate you, girl. Oh, you've been supporting for so long. I appreciate you so much. So that's why I don't do a lot of videos. And also the reason is because when you do a lot of videos, the information gets lost. I mean, some of the, it's think about the stock market, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, but think about the stock market. The more of a product you have, the less it's worth. So if I came out here and I just was talking to you guys every day and I was just making up shit to talk about, would that be worth anything? No. I've come out here and I want to leave you guys with information that you can utilize in your life, everyday life. Take to your family, your friends, and be able to use that shit. So, it takes time covering up a lot of, though that type of stuff doesn't happen every day, so, uncovering things that you can use and shit like that. Even though there's so much that that there's so much information that you can use and put out there, but I want to make sure that when I come to you, I want to give you something that you can go away with. And then also, I don't want you guys, just if I do videos every day, then, it would kind of make it, like I said, worth less. And you would just be, oh, he kept doing another video. No, I want y'all to be like, oh, Kev doing a damn video. You damn right. I'm about to break off some information because I don't do this all the goddamn time. So you better get your ass in front of this damn camera or this screen when I put out information. That's what that means. So why don't I do more videos? Those are all of the reasons. Again, I'm not just putting out information just to be putting it out just so I can sound good. I don't look at these videos. I don't go back and look at this shit and be marveling over what I said and all that shit. No, it's about what I can bring to you that you can use. Period. I don't care what you guys. I don't care if you guys, you love the videos, you don't love the videos. I do care. What I mean by your liking of the videos, that's not necessarily the point of the video. It's about the information. Can you use it? If you can't use it, Sorry. But most of the information out there, I've used it. And so, that doesn't mean that you can, but it most likely means that you can. So that's why we out here. So how and what are y'all doing in this lockdown? So how y'all doing in this lockdown? I know it's getting to be almost a year in. Almost the whole year in this lockdown. What up? Email. Yeah, you can email me. Yeah, so we're almost a year in this lockdown and this new world order lockdown. They've been putting the smash down on us. They have been doing it, trying to use that Saturn Jupiter conjunction energy to try to really put it in. But we found out about it early, and so you guys should have been using that energy. You should be using it now, should be still using it for at least a year. All right? But consciously put that shit out. What you want to manifest, what you want to happen. Change your life. You have it, the power is there. I've been getting hit up by so many people like, man, I just think about some stuff and it happened now. Or man, dang, it's crazy. I'm just all I do is just focus on my stuff and it's just happening now. It's like that. That's how energy is. You are in a new energy now. We are in this Aquarian age. We have kick-started. We moving now, y'all. So y'all got to take hold of that energy. And so, but what are you, it's how you doing? How are you doing? I hope you guys are keeping your heads up, not letting the, letting the lockdown get you down, so to speak. But keeping a positive mind. And, I know the separation from people kind of hurts, especially as us being, we're connected. We're made and we're born to be connected people. So them trying to take us apart, take us away from each other is some fuckery. But through this technology, we're able to stay connected. And so they didn't think it was going to be like that. They thought, they were going to take us down and we were just going to be all super sad. And some of us are, some of us are really in that state. But what I've seen from melanated people more so than anything, we connected, man. We've sitting back, our consciousness, our consciousness level is elevating. We have been doing nothing but just going over information. We haven't been watching sports as much, which is off the chain. Fuck them, fuck LeBron. So, and I really mean that shit. but so we haven't been watching sports as much. That bullshit ass Super Bowl that you just saw that they made Tom Brady win, that they engineered to win. Peace. That they engineered Tom Brady to win 7 championships so he can be over Michael Jordan, which is some bullshit, and all them 7s that was going on in that Super Bowl. Do the gematria on it. So they got a whole lot of shit that they're working. Nothing is happening by random. Just in case y'all think it is. Nothing is out here happening by random. And so what are you doing? I'm going to keep being on y'all about this. What are you doing to mitigate the bullshit? You have to be out here doing something to counteract it. If somebody's getting ready to punch you, you got to go block. Or that happens. Or you got to go, or you can duck too. You move out of the way. You got to do something. You just can't stand there and take the punch. So you can also do something called roll with the punch. You can turn your head, take the punch, but then come back with your own shot. So what are we doing? I hope you guys are bombarding yourselves with information. All the information that the Caucasians have been using to run this shit, it's ready for you right now. I mean, it's all out there. And especially because we're on this lockdown, people are restless. And the people with this information are restless. So they're just giving it out, mostly for free. And I'm telling y'all need to get on that damn. I'm going to hit y'all with this Clubhouse shit every fucking time. Even though it's government conspiracy and all that. Well, whatever, that's some bullshit. Just so y'all know, the husband and wife that own it, the woman is melanated. She a sister. So she married to a Caucasian dude, but the people who own Clubhouse is a Caucasian dude and a melanated sister. So just so y'all thinking that the government is about to come in and smash down. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But the information that's being put out on Clubhouse right now is invaluable. So you can just sit your ass back. You ain't got to say nothing. Just get on there and sit back and listen and take notes. Have your recorder on when all these people are on. Get into those stock rooms. Get into those options rooms. Get into the real estate rooms. Get into all of that shit because they are dropping knowledge right now. And they're going to be doing it. For what I hear, because the lockdown ends in July. So, and then Clubhouse is only exclusive to Apple. So you can only get it on the iPhone. So in July, they're going to open it up to the world. You know, that's Android people and everything. But that's when the world opens back up. So that means all of these people, all of these financial people who are sitting back with nothing to do, they're not going to be doing this no more. They're going to be getting back in the game, trying to get their money rolling again. So right now, while the world is dead, so to speak, they are kicking out this information, and you need to be sucking it up. Sucking it up. Get your vacuum on. Start sucking all this damn information up. So bettering yourself, whatever you wanted to do. If you thought, oh, I want to be this, and you never thought you had the time to do it, you should be doing that shit right now. There's nothing. You should not be sitting on your ass watching TV all the time. Now, I know WandaVision is off the chain and Mandalorian is off the chain, but fuck Mandalorian for firing Gina Carano. That's a whole nother game. But but you know, I know those TV shows are dope, but there's nothing that they're going to help you with in life. When the world kicks back up, none of those TV shows are going to help you. So you can use it to, you know, to kind of, as some mindless TV to kind of help, you know, to help with your morale a little bit. But you should be learning, man. This is the learning time. This is the time that we can use to elevate, to come up out of it, to be that phoenix rising. So get that information. So again, it's, you know, if you're feeling bad, start learning. Make your time productive. If you feel, oh man, this is some fucked up shit, well, do something about it. Start learning, because then you don't have the time to focus on what's actually going on, because you're still living life. You're still adding to your life. Whereas when they got us on lockdown, it seems like they just taking something from us. They just won't let us do anything. But no, they haven't taken your mind. So get your ass in there and start learning all of this damn shit. Learn the game, because that's what's getting ready to come on. So the next thing. So I know y'all heard about the 2-mask order. There's a 2-mask order now that Fauci done put out. I mean, just so y'all know, this world order is in effect. World Health Organization is the arm of the UN, and you know, and Fauci is Bill Gates's man, and I mean, you got all of this shit is intertwined, and they're literally weaving and stitching together the society that they want. Now they got Biden in there. He done kicked up all those executive orders. So they want you to wear 2 masks. 2. This is fucking insane. 2 masks. 1 mask hasn't been proven to do anything, but they want you to wear 2 masks now. How in the hell does restricting I mean, just common sense would tell you your body needs oxygen in order to live. So I don't give a fuck what the oxygen meters and all that shit say. If you put on a mask and it says you're not getting any less oxygen, that's fucking bullshit. That's some shit man-made. Your body knows the difference between an obstruction over your face and you're trying to inhale and get oxygen in, and nothing being over your face. It's obvious you're going to get more oxygen with nothing over your face. But they want you to have 2 things. Why is that? Because they are trying to take down your immune systems. Because if they do that, then more people will want to go and get these vaccines. If you keep getting sick, if more of the people are out here with their immune system lowered, then they're cranking up. They're trying to crank up these vaccines. That's how this shit is going. The vaccine is in full effect, and why? Because as we've shown, also them COVID tests. Man, those nanos, they had the nanobots that they have in the COVID test. Man, Elon Musk, go look up the Elon Musk was on Clubhouse. This is why y'all got to get on there, man. Elon Musk was on Clubhouse. Just, hey, yo, what up, y'all? I'm in here. We out here doing it. So he was in there breaking off some shit. The whole full interview is on YouTube, so you can go look it up. But he was talking about, now I'll say this about Elon Musk. Because I was going to talk to him about later on in the, about Bitcoin. But this is about the vaccines right now. So as far as the vaccines, he was breaking down how technology has gotten to the point where they can create designer vaccines. Designer viruses. He said that shit. He said we can create designer viruses. And then he said we can get it down. We can program RNA and then put it into, he said, put it into a nice tasty paste that your cells will find yummy. So basically they can put nanos on this little pasty gel and then feed it to your cells. The same thing we've been talking about. Elon Musk confirmed that shit. He didn't say nanobots. He said programmable viruses and vaccines and that type of shit. Programmable. What does that mean? That's nano shit. Nanobots. So it's out there. He put it out there. He was breaking that shit off. Go look that up. He broke off the whole shit. So Elon, to me, Elon is not a part of the establishment. He too out there. Like they can't control him. He's a loose cannon. Like Trump. See, Trump was a loose cannon too. So even though he was up there and he had a lot of money, he wasn't inducted all the way into those secret societies and everything that was getting that they're putting down, because he's a loose cannon. He like Neo. You know, he'll go off and he'll fuck off some shit. You've seen Elon Musk do that. So even though Elon Musk is way up, is high up there, and he's the billionaire and he's one of the richest people in the world and all this and that, he's not with the establishment mind. He thinks all of this shit is supposed to help free us and all of that type of shit. That's the type of mind he has. He's a little nutty. So he's on there breaking off shit. He ain't supposed to be talking about nanos in the COVID and the vaccines and then the programmable vaccines and viruses and all that shit. He ain't supposed to be saying all that. But he don't care because he's on paper, he's the richest person in the world. So he can go ahead and do that type of stuff. So he was on. That's why you got to get on this Clubhouse, man. The information is flowing. It is flowing like a goddamn ocean in Clubhouse. You have to get in. You don't want to miss out on this information revolution. That's really what it is. And there's so many melanated people. Man, I was on Clubhouse last night. Do you know it was a all Korean room? It was like 600 something people in a Korean room, all talking Korean, breaking that, but it was about investment. The room was about CEOs' investments because the title of the room was in English, but then after it had the Korean. And so then I go in there, mostly nothing but Koreans, just breaking off shit in Korean. I'm like, oh shit, I wish I had goddamn. They break it off, man. The information revolution and renaissance is on and popping right now. If you're not a part of it, you bullshitting. If you sitting back just watching sports and Mandalorian and WandaVision and all this dumb shit, you fucking up. It is some, man, because when they kick the world back up in July, I'm telling you, it's going down. July, they're what they're planning for is July. So you want to get all the information you can and implement your plan by then. Before then, you should be getting it right now. But then also what's coming is those forced vaccinations. They're slowly trying to get you to they put it in the media here and there, and they'll try to say, should vaccinations be forced? That just puts the question in your head, and then they start to have these little discussions about it, and then with somebody making positive points on making a case for vaccinations, for forced vaccinations. So you start to hear this in your head, and it dwells in your subconscious, and before you know it, you start to be like, man, what? We should get forced vaccinations, man. Everybody, man, you shouldn't be out here, exposing us, having to expose us to your shit. Get them vaccinations, Nick. See, that's how that shit goes on. That's actually what Gina Carano was talking about, why she got fired from The Mandalorian. Y'all need to go look up on there. Y'all probably don't watch The Mandalorian. But she's the most popular figure on The Mandalorian after Baby Yoda. She's called Cara Dune. And she put out a post saying that the government in the Holocaust, the governments and the media used the people to turn on the Jews. Now it wasn't the Nazis that turned on them and beat them down in the streets. It was the people. It was the German people who got indoctrinated by the government and the media, and then they turned on the people. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to, through the media, through the government. They just keep feeding you little bits, you ever see that where they try to put your medicine? You see those things where they put the medicine in a big spoonful of some shit and they airplane it into the kid so the kid will take his medicine. That's what they doing to y'all right now. they airplaning medicine bullshit right into your and you gobbling in that shit up. Like, oh shit, that shit tasted great. So the forced vaccinations are coming. They're trying to get you ready for it so that you don't rebel against it. They're trying that's an easier way. If I can get you subconsciously thinking about it, and then when I get ready to do it, you've been thinking about it for months and months and months. You have these points in your head from these so-called experts and expert doctors and all this and that shit that tell you that it's supposed to be a good thing. Then you be like, you know what? Fuck that, man. Yeah, they should do forced vaccinations. That's the best thing for the people. It's for the people. So you find yourself you the damn soldier for them. So again, that's the plan. The forced vaccinations are coming. Now, how do you get out of that jurisdiction? How do you get out of that jurisdiction? So before I do that though, let me say this. So before we get into that and the forced vaccinations, other things are coming. So their whole new world order thing is in full effect. So they have something coming out called an information czar. The government information czar. Did y'all hear about that shit? They trying to get somebody in charge of social media and information, basically saying that being able to decide what is and what isn't fake news and then get it taken off. Do y'all know that's coming? The censorship is coming. So if you say, that COVID-19 is engineered virus, they'll have an government information czar that has his whole staff and shit that'll be combing over all of that shit and basically pulling that stuff off the internet and shit like that, or censoring shit. That's going down, y'all. Information czar. Go look it up. And this, again, looking for fake news. They got the transgender legislation that they're putting out. That Joe Biden, he basically signed he put out some type of, it's not necessarily legislation. It's more so for it is legislation, but it's for foreign countries who don't put transgender legislation in their countries, that America won't do business with them and shit. So basically it's extortion. So if our country don't agree with the transgender bullshit, then you're going to extort us. You're going to make us fucking implement laws for some shit that we don't agree with over here, based off the fact that we're going to be kicked out of the world circle and be considered some type of third world country. See, this is how it's going down, y'all. These corporations, these corporate governments are putting down their plan. This is what it was made for. You're in the thick of it now. You're in the shit, and they hoping that you're so distracted by being in the house and watching YouTube and TV and all the rest of that shit that you don't know and you don't see what the fuck they're doing. This is the easiest time to see what they're doing because you ain't distracted. But you are distracted because you're so depressed and down by being in the house. So they still can get all this shit past you. But again, that transgender, again, they're putting down the transgender, I call it the transgender fuckery because first of all, they try to make it seem like, there's no such thing as gender. When there is. That's one of the actual laws, the law of gender. You go look up the Kabbalion. That's the 7th law of the Kabbalion. It's called gender. There's gender in everything, meaning there's masculine and feminine force in anything, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But they want to blur those lines and tell you that it's not. But the actual old term used to be transsexual. It wasn't transgender. They got the word gender in there so they can actually make it political and then term it and say, oh, that's the word gender is this and that. But that wasn't what it was. There are sex. There's a female sex and there's a male sex. And so what these people are trying to do is be transsexual. That's actually what it was called back in the day, in the 90s and stuff when I was young. Now they flipped it. So, but they're implementing all of this stuff and they're going to force you to go along with all of this stuff. Now, again, you know what I'm saying? If you feel that you was you feel that, the nature got it wrong in this life and you were supposed to be whatever the other sex, then you need to meditate and go deep inside and find out why you manifested as this sex in this life. It's all a lesson. You're not supposed to get here and say, oh, I don't like this. Nature fucked up. Let me go to what the fuck I want. No, you're supposed to figure out why the hell you manifested in this form, this time, and what you're supposed to learn from it and what your spirit and soul is supposed to take to the next life. And not be all pissy and shitty that you don't feel like because you're trapped in a man-made society that tells you the body that you're in is wrong. Now that you got to follow that bullshit, no, oh no, I'm not in the right. Get down, start meditating, understand yourself, learn yourself. All these people again, it's about nature. There's a divine masculine and the divine feminine. You need to start getting on that knowledge and understanding what's what and why you manifested in nature as you did. But again, that's what's getting ready to go on in the world. Is now that Biden is in, they're on, man, they done kicked it. They're in full speed. So that's the fuckery that they got going down for the world. So, but how do you get out of it? If you're in America, even if you're in the rest of the world, how do you get out of it? How do you get out of it? Jurisdiction. It's all about jurisdiction, everybody. So just because just because you're what they say you're in this country doesn't mean that the country has jurisdiction over you. It depends on what your status is. And this is what I've been teaching for the longest time about status. If you don't know what your status is, then they will tell you what your status is, and it's going to be something that's conducive to what they want, not to what you want. I'm gonna put you in the box. Put you in the box that I want. Get your ass back over there in the back of that damn refrigerator. So you need to tell the governments who you are. And this is around the world. If you're Aboriginal, the Aboriginal status is the number one status. All right, indigenous, Aboriginal, whatever you want to call it, it's the number one status in the world. And so you have to claim it. You sovereign? Don't say you're sovereign. Now, even though that's a term, you should be, but you want to be self-governing. That's more of a term. You want to be self-governing. They're looking out for that sovereign title. But you're self-governing, when you change your status. And so that pulls you out of the jurisdiction of the corporation. The corporation can only make you do things. Remember, they're a corporation, even a government. A government, if it was not even a corporation, if it was just a regular government, a government still needs jurisdiction over someone to be able to make them do something. So a corporate even double so, because they have to have your consent between a corporation and another person. That's a consent. One doesn't rule the other. I have to get your contractual consent, which is why they do that. What was that? Oh, Sarah, thank you. So they have to get your contractual consent, which is why your driver's license, your passports, and birth certificates and all that, those are all the contracts that they get you locked up with. So that makes you a 14th Amendment citizen. Remember, 14th Amendment citizen, they give you privileges and immunities in order for your cooperation, your submission to the government. Okay, unlike the actual citizens in the beginning of the Constitution, who actually the government derives their power from those citizens. Instead, as a 14th Amendment citizen, you derive your power from the government. Okay, that's the deal they gave you. They say, well, you didn't have no rights before, but we'll give you privileges and immunities if you say, we your daddy. Who your daddy? Who your daddy? Come on, boy. Who your daddy? Come on, boy. You better say who your daddy is. So, as long as you say daddy to the government, they'll give you privileges and immunities. Not rights, privileges and immunities. One of those privileges is a privilege to be vaccinated. You don't get the immunity to be vaccinated. You get the privilege of being vaccinated, right? So that's as a 14th Amendment citizen. And under that 14th Amendment citizenship, there's not much you can do. And this is the way they planned it, because you are a subject citizen. You are a slave citizen. Ultimately, as a 14th Amendment citizen, there's no way around it. And actually, ultimately, everyone in America is a 14th Amendment citizen now. Trump tweeted that, a long time ago, talking about, saying that you don't know, you're telling me I don't know nothing about the Constitution, but all of you, when you voted for me, you committed treason. You said you signed away your constitutional rights. Now you're under your 14th Amendment. Go back and look at that tweet. Trump broke it all down. Said y'all committed treason. So now y'all figure that out before you tell me if I don't know about the Constitution. So that's what's going on now. As 14th Amendment citizens, they've got everybody under lockdown. They think They think they have everybody under lockdown, but as you do your knowledge, you go and uncovering, you understand who you are, you can go and reclaim your status as that Aboriginal. That is the #1 top status. Let me just show you something about jurisdiction. Because in court, so when you change your status, jurisdiction in America deals with 3 things. Jurisdiction over the person, jurisdiction over the subject matter, whatever the hell happened, and jurisdiction over the venue, the place where we're holding the proceeding, right? So if they don't have jurisdiction over all 3, the court can't proceed, no matter what, in criminal or civil case. If you challenge jurisdiction on either one of those and they don't have all 3 of those things over the person, jurisdiction over you, over the subject matter, whatever the fuck we're talking about, and over the place, then they don't have any jurisdiction. Even if they go, whoop, they got 2 but not 1, nope, they don't have any jurisdiction. So let me read a couple of cases to you guys. So these are some court cases that deal with jurisdiction. I want you guys to understand why you need to start learning the law and changing your status, because jurisdiction trumps everything, which is why they gain jurisdiction over you at every point they can. When they pull you over for a ticket, the police officers pull you over for a ticket, that's called a notice to appear, right? Appear in law means to formally submit yourself to the jurisdiction of the court. So they acquire jurisdiction over you in 50 million ways before you even walk in there. So they don't even need to worry about it. But if you challenge it, then they have to worry about it. They got to prove it now. Then the government got to be like, oh shit. Do we got papers on this nigga? What the contract say? What? Ain't nobody. God damn it. He can go. That's what happened. So let me show you. So these are some court cases. Once jurisdiction is challenged, the court cannot proceed when it clearly appears that the court lacks jurisdiction. The court has no authority to reach merits, but rather should dismiss the action. Okay, that case is Mello versus the U.S. Mello versus the U.S. All right. That's like Carmelo, like Melo, M-E-L-O, Mello versus U.S. Here's another one. The law requires proof of jurisdiction to appear on the record of the administrative agency and all administrative proceedings. That's a Supreme Court case. That's Higgins versus Levine. That's the top of the chain jurisdiction. I'll read it again. The law requires proof of jurisdiction to appear on the record of the administrative agency in all administrative proceedings. So that means when you challenge it, when you say, hey, nigga, you ain't got jurisdiction, do you? They got to be like, oh, shit. Sally, can you bring the file from the back on Mr. L. Bay here? That's what they got to do. They ain't got no file on you, though. They ain't got no paperwork on you because you severed all of those contracts. They can't pull up anything. You don't have all of that. They try to pull up your driver's license. They try to pull up your social security number and all that shit. You severed it. You pull out your contracts. I canceled those. Didn't you get the notice? Well, you didn't say nothing. So cancel, baby. Here are some more cases. A judgment rendered by a court without personal jurisdiction, that means jurisdiction over you, the person. A judgment rendered by a court without personal jurisdiction over the defendant is void. It is a nullity. A judgment shown to be void for lack of personal service, a judgment shown to be void for lack of personal service on the defendant is a nullity. So again, they have no jurisdiction. Even if they in court and they try to move and they don't have jurisdiction, it's not proven on the record, and they go about and they issue a ruling in court, but then you still the challenge, the jurisdictional challenge is still in play. That ruling is null and void. It's not even real. This is the shit that most people y'all don't know. This is why you gotta learn the law. I'm trying to tell you, the law is a great thing, man. This fucking beautiful world over here. Y'all better get over here where I'm at, goddammit. This motherfucking waterfalls and fucking trees, niggas flying and shit. What the fuck y'all doing around here? Y'all better get to the utopia land. So here's another one. A court cannot confer jurisdiction where none existed and cannot make a void proceeding valid. It is clear and well-established law that a void order can be challenged in any court. That is Old Wayne Mutual, I think is Old Wayne Mutual and Associates versus McDonough. So you got to look it up like that if you go try to look it up. That's, again, Old Wayne, M-U-T, and then the middle L initial, Associates versus McDonough, M-C-D-O-N-O-U-G-H. All right? Couple more. Jurisdiction. There is no discretion to ignore lack of jurisdiction. All right? That's Joyce versus U.S. Joyce versus U.S. There is no discretion to ignore lack of jurisdiction. What does that mean? What is discretion? Meaning the court is it's within the court's decision to be able to ignore lack of jurisdiction or not. They said, no, you got no discretion. You can't do that. You can't just decide whether you got jurisdiction or not. You got to prove you got jurisdiction. So why are we saying all this? Because whenever they try to come for you and try to force you to do vaccinations and all of that shit, and you got your status correct, they can't force you to do anything. You challenge jurisdiction right off the bat. Well, where's the contract? Show me the contract. Where's jurisdiction? I'll wait. You sit there, I'll wait. So that's what goes on when you challenge jurisdiction, okay? They have to prove it and the court gets stopped no matter what on criminal proceedings, even if it was murder. Do you know that? They still have to prove they got jurisdiction over you before they can implement a case. Y'all better get with this shit. All proceedings in court are stopped, halted once you say you don't got jurisdiction, nigga. Do you? So let's get with the program. So that leads into the court with just issued a new qualified immunity ruling. So y'all don't know what the qualified immunity is. I've been putting this out for a minute. This is the qualified immunity notice, the card that you do with you. This is the card that goes with it in the car. So you take both of these. You have both of these in the car with you, but you know you have all of this in the car. This is the constitutional rights card, qualified immunity card notice, and the actual paper notice that you would have either keeping with you in your car. Now, what is qualified immunity? We've talked about it before. Qualified immunity allows a police officer to go free if they violate your constitutional rights, but did it in good faith, meaning they did it in their official capacity as an officer, but did it without knowingly violating a clearly established law, right? So the messed up shit from that was they can never find a clearly established law because as long as a police officer violates your rights in a new way, it's never clearly established. So it never gets put on the books. You see how that works? The case gets dismissed, so the case never gets put on the books. So they never have a clearly established law of how they violated your rights. It's a cycle of fuckery. It's a perpetual cycle of fuckery. So, they are responsible when they knowingly, and this is Malley versus Briggs, the Supreme Court case Malley versus Briggs says that a police officer is in violation. They lose their qualified immunity when they knowingly violate the law or are plainly incompetent. So if you're able to get a police officer on camera and you alert the police officer that they're in danger of violating your constitutional rights before they do it, they can't claim later that they didn't know. You warned them. And it's on camera. So the court will be like, officer, did you take diligence? Did you do any due diligence to make sure that you weren't violating this citizen's rights? Because that you have a duty to make sure that you're not violating this person's rights, because you swore a right to uphold their constitutional rights. You swore an oath to uphold their constitutional rights. So did you? This would go down. So qualified immunity, this is why I put these out. Qualified immunity, this is the police stop law package, right? So this is what you would have in your car with you whenever you got stopped. So now, why is the qualified immunity thing so important right now? That is because in November, I think it was November the 2nd, the Supreme Court on the hush-hush, on the DL, this is how they do shit. On the low, they had a goddamn hearing. They issued a ruling. And the case is called Taylor versus Rojas. But you spell Rojas Riojas. Okay? Taylor, Taylor versus Rojas. It's called a per curiam decision. What does that mean? Per curiam means that the Supreme Court, it doesn't need to hear any arguments from the parties, from the dueling parties, the plaintiff or the defendant. Meaning it'll use everything that was basically, when you get to the Supreme Court, you've already whatever case gets to the Supreme Court has already been in two lower courts. So you go to the federal court, then you go, if that loses, then you go to the appellate court, the appeals court. Then if that loses, then you send it all the way up to the Supreme Court. That's how they get it, right? So when the Supreme Court gets a per curiam ruling, or when they issue a per curiam ruling, they don't need arguments, because they just use all of the information from the two lower rulings. They say, oh, it's been so much that's been uncovered and unveiled in the two cases below. We don't need to see anything else. We can make a ruling based off of all the information that we saw on these lower courts, right? So they go in there and they just, they look it over and they just issue a case, and they do it on some low hush hush. Hey y'all, check this out. We issued a ruling. Don't tell nobody. So basically, as qualified immunity was standard before, again, you had to find a clearly established law on the books, meaning basically, if the officer didn't violate your rights in the exact same way as somebody else did, the exact same way, then they got off. It had to be damn near in the exact same way. So, Supreme Court, there's been two qualified immunity cases that got up to the Supreme Court that they ruled in favor of the plaintiff, meaning they ruled against the police officers in these two cases, or against the public official in these two cases who was trying to use qualified immunity. Two cases. One was called United States versus Lanier. The other is called Hope versus Peltzer. Now, these two cases, so now let me just say, so qualified immunity, when you want to sue a police officer for qualified immunity, what that means is you can sue them for civil damages under Title 42, Section 1983. That allows you to sue a police officer for violating your constitutional rights, but only sue them for civil damages, right? So, but again, that has to be proven that there's a clearly established law that they violated your rights. So this was always the fuckery. That's why over the last 40 years, the Supreme Court has only ruled in favor of the plaintiff, or ruled only against the police officer twice in these two cases. Now, not a police officer, but the public official twice. So again, in excuse me, in United States versus Lanier, it was a judge. So a judge had taken a woman into his chambers and tried to sexually harass or rape the woman, right? So she sues she sues him under, and he asserts qualified immunity. Two lower courts, you understand this? Two lower courts ruled that this judge, even though he violated her constitutional rights, he didn't know he was doing wrong. He didn't know that he couldn't do that. So they gave him qualified immunity. A judge trying to rape a woman in his chambers. The two lower courts, the federal court and the appeal court, said, you know what? Yeah, he violated her rights, but he didn't know. He didn't know he wasn't supposed to be raping bitches in his office. How he fucking supposed to know he's supposed to be raping bitches in the office? Nigga, come on now. Everybody, come on, that ain't no readily known thing that you ain't supposed to rape motherfuckers in the office. Come on, man, you gotta get this nigga some, come on. Supreme Court looked at and said, nah, y'all crazy? Who the hell don't know you ain't supposed to be trying to rape people in your office? So they ruled against that. Then the other one was Hope versus Peltzer. That was another egregious case. So basically, I don't want to get into all two of these damn cases. You got to go look them up yourself. But basically, the ruling of the cases was that you didn't need to have a clearly established law beforehand. All you needed was just to be able to have, it wasn't, meaning clearly established means it has to be pretty much exactly like the case, right? And so because they never rule on qualified immunity, no case ever gets put into the court. So you can never find one. So but what the Supreme Court said in this case was you don't need that. You just need to find a case that was any case that you can find that, where this happened, something similar like this happened, you can use that. Basically. So basically saying you don't need to go find clearly established law. You can just use regular law and to explain your case. It said this in two cases, right? So now in this Taylor versus Rojas case, which is crazy, go look up this case. This is this dude, he tried to kill himself. And they had him on mental watch, on like a 50 watch, and had him in a mental holding tank cell, but it was filled with feces, shit, basically, and they had him in there for 6 days naked and wouldn't clean the place. Excuse me. And so then when they moved him out of it, they moved him into another cell. Now, remind you, he didn't try to kill nobody. He didn't try to hurt nobody but himself. He's not a criminal at all. You ain't a criminal when you try to hurt yourself. So they moved him into another cell where the drain was clogged. And so hoping that he would use the bathroom and then it would run over and he would be all in the bacteria and fucking infested cell, which what happened? He tried to hold his pee for 20 something hours. He couldn't do it. He peed, the cell overflowed. So this all happened, right? Within a week. So he sues for violation of the 8th Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment. So they ruled in favor. But what they did was they cited their old case that they had already ruled on, Hope versus Peltzer, which means it strengthened it. So so now, remember, the old qualified immunity, you could sue the police under Title 42, 1983, civil suits, and you can get money for it. But this new ruling, and actually it's really two old rulings that no one really knew about, but this new ruling that they just did in November, that's strengthened by the old rulings, says that damn, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, so the new rulings are under Title 18, Section 241 and 242. So that's conspiracy to violate your constitutional, your civil rights. So you can sue them under civil rights violations with qualified immunity now. It's always been there. No one really knew about it because it's only been 2 cases and no one knew about it. But now, this case, again, they tried to whisper, hey, y'all, we ruled against qualified immunity. Shh, don't tell nobody. I ain't say nothing. What? That's what's going down. They have ruled against qualified immunity for the 3rd time, using one of their old cases, strengthening this ruling. And so it was ruled 7-1, meaning 7 were in favor of the plaintiff or against the cop, and 1 officer was in favor of the police officer. Guess who that was? Guess who that nigga was? The only nigga on the goddamn Supreme Court, your friend and mine, Mr. Clarence Thomas. Clarence goddamn Thomas ruled against, he wrote a dissenting, what's called a dissenting opinion, saying no, that these people, that this dude who threw this man in this shit-infested cell and this piss-infested other cell, that he didn't do nothing wrong. Clarence Thomas, your boy, said that dude didn't do nothing wrong. So this is the fuckery that you got to deal with. But this is happy day because they ruled against police officers and qualified immunity. So that means you can sue police officers against their qualified immunity under the civil rights violations, which is what mostly happens to melanated people. That's what they usually do, is violate that. And also, Title 18 is also a civil rights violation. It's just you can do a civil suit, but this is criminal. 241 and 242 is a criminal violation of your civil rights, and so you can get them now. They didn't want nobody to know this shit, but you know the universe be sending me shit, y'all. Universe, hey, Kev, check this out. The Supreme Court just ruled against qualified immunity. This is a happy, happy day. Now, again, you got to know how to use it. You got to have your stuff ready. So, again, you got to be armored up when you go deal with these people, because they can run your mouth all you want, but when they see that you know the law, they got documents, they see that you know the law, they change the game. Their whole demeanor changes. So, again, you know the package. This is the Know Your Rights manual. The public official bonds. So when they do violate your rights, so that's one way that you can get back at them, is suing them under their qualified immunity for the rights violations. But again, this is the first way you get back at them. You go file a lien on their public official bond. Okay, when you sue somebody, that takes about 1 year to 2 years before that works out. And they working, excuse me, they can work the whole time. When you go place a lien on someone's surety bond, basically their police insurance, they can't work until the bond is satisfied. Because what happens is you go place a lien on the bond, you call the surety company, you tell them that your rights were violated and you want to place a civil lien on their bond. The insurance company calls the police officer and says, hey man, somebody said you violated their rights. Did you? Well, you need to call this dude and handle it, because if you don't want us to handle it. So then the police officer will call you and be like, hey man, you know, can we work it out? Yo, what you need? And you would probably say, hell no. No, we ain't working it out. So then that means the bond company has to pay, because the bond company doesn't want to pay at first. They want the police officer to pay so they can keep their bond. They can keep their bond status. But if the police officer can't pay, or if you refuse, you deny or you refuse payment from the police officer, then the bond company has to pay. So then what happens? Bond company pays you, but then the police officer got to pay the bond company back, which he damn sure don't want, because all his stuff now, his credit gets fucked up after that. Yep. All of his credit, everything, all that he put up for that bond, all of that credit score, everything is down. It means houses that he put up for can be taken, anything. So they don't want that. And they can't work that day when the lien is filed until the lien is satisfied on that bond. So that's the way you get at them immediately. And then you go sue them for civil rights and, civil rights violations, criminally and civilly, So, but, that's the way you got to do it. And again, this is the other thing I put in the package, the Terry stop mask. You need reasonable articulable suspicion officer, Terry versus Ohio. That's where that case comes from. So many things in that case. How the police officer can't search you when the police officer rolls up on you and they try to detain you and they say, I'm about to search you just for me and my officer's safety. No. Do you know that this case says that the police officer can only search you if they suspect you of having a weapon? They need to articulate that they suspect you of having a weapon. They need to articulate where the weapon is, and they can only search that place. Did y'all know that? A police officer is not allowed to search you just because he pulled you over or he's detaining you. They can't even handcuff you unless you're being violent and belligerent. Y'all didn't know that. You let police do anything to you because you don't know the law. And so If you order, again, you order the Great Book of Melanin Research. Remember, this is the dessert. This stuff is the vegetables. And I want you to have your vegetables. So I'll give you the dessert. So you buy the dessert, I'll give you the vegetables for free. All right. So again, and also you get the alkaline cookbook with that. All right. But you got to be out here. You got to know your shit. So they just, again, qualified immunity. The Supreme Court just kicked qualified immunity in the motherfucking ass. Y'all didn't even know. No one knew. Not even lawyers. Not even civil rights lawyers knew about this stuff. Do y'all know that? Constitutional rights lawyers and all this stuff. Most of these people don't even know about this stuff because they did it on the hush. They did it in a per curiam, again, per curiam decision, which means, hey, shh, we ruled on qualified immunity. So that's what happened. It's a ruling. It's out there. We got it. Supreme Court just happened 3 months ago. So now you really got some force behind you. So the last couple things I want to talk about is the stock market and that Bitcoin. Man, you guys, if you're not on that Bitcoin, if you're not on Bitcoin, you need to be getting up on the cryptocurrency. That's just where this shit is going, y'all. Y'all not in Guap coin, your Guap coin, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is moving. Elon Musk just bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Do y'all know he made $500 million in one day? The next day, next day after he bought it, Bitcoin went to 47. He spent 1.5, made 500 million in one goddamn day. He made more money than all the cars he sold in the last quarter, last year. That's in one day. He made more money than he did in last 4 months. Or actually, I think it was last 2 or 3 quarters. I think it's all last year. So y'all better get into the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is what's coming. It's the currency that again, excuse me, that allows you to separate from the government. Okay, this is the one thing that you can have that the government has no control over. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing. There's a dude who's on trial in Germany, I think. He got $60 million in Bitcoin on a Bitcoin wallet, and the government want him to give him the code, and he won't give him the code. So he's been so they threw him in jail for yo, maybe if we throw you in jail for about a year or two, we gonna nope. I'll stay in here till my time is up. You ain't getting that damn Bitcoin code. So he gonna have $60 million when he get out. So again, y'all got to get in on this, man. It's the stock market period, though. This is the information I've been trying to tell you. Again, get on that Clubhouse. They're teaching financial wealth. Okay, financial education, generational wealth. They're teaching this stuff on the Clubhouse. I don't know anywhere else they're doing it. On YouTube too. You can again go look up Mark Monroe, Wall Street Trapper, Trade and Travel. That's Terry Egioma. Jay the Trader. He's another cat who's pretty dope. See those. Right off the bat, I think I'm skipping. I'm missing somebody, but those are the ones you can find on YouTube, right there. And Tiffany J. She's a woman. She's on, but I don't think she's on YouTube. You got to go to Instagram to find Tiffany J. Her trading is called Modern Black Girl, but she teaches everybody. But it's called Modern Black Girl, and she's a master at options. And y'all need to get into this. Do y'all know? This to let you know, if you had invested $1,000 last January in a Tesla option, meaning, and this is, you got to go learn the options games, but meaning one option is when you buy 100 shares of a stock, right? So that's what options allow you to do. So if you had spent $1,000 on Tesla options last year in January, right now you would have over $200,000. You would have had over $200,000 in December. Now that's crazy. Not even investing in Bitcoin would get you that type of return. That's why options, you able to get potentially 500, 800,000% return. This is why you got to get in this game. This is what these Caucasian people are doing. Why you think they so goddamn wealthy all the goddamn time? They're passing around this information where they're getting these crazy ass returns, and we trying to do bullshit. We trying to do double ups on weed in the hood. on a pound of weed. When these motherfuckers are borrowing money. Again, when you're investing in stock, you don't even have to have the money. You can borrow it and then pay them back later. Anybody can do this. It's a damn shame that we don't know this. But it's starting to get out there right now because those clubhouse rooms be having 2,000, 3,000 people in these stock rooms. If y'all not on that, y'all better get on that shit. Y'all gonna be missing out. But I'm amazed to see the financial education that we getting right now. It is amazing. And then now we're getting it on there, and then we're starting to spread it. We're spreading it around. But it is so many beautiful, professional, melanated people that are out there with major money. I don't know where this goddamn shit come from that black people don't got no money. That's bullshit. You need to get your ass on Clubhouse. See all these niggas with money on Clubhouse. The black family only got 2%, got 2% of the wealth and all this and that, all these bullshit ass stats. That's some bullshit. It's niggas with major money right now, mashing. One of them named Mark Monroe. That dude is the major options master right now. Go fuck with him. And Wall Street Trapper. Two major dudes on the options game. But you got to get into it. You see how the market is moving right now. Don't miss out on this shit. Guap Coin made a big gain this past week. If y'all had invested in Guap Coin, y'all would have made some money this damn week. Guap Coin did a major peak this week. Y'all bullshitting, man. And Guap Coin is the only melanated cryptocurrency. Again, y'all no A coin ain't out there yet. Guap Coin, the only cryptocurrency coded by a melanated person. Female, woman, Aquarius Maximus, Tavonia. Come on, girl. You doing it. But she out there, she mashing. She gonna need our help for that because this is gonna be for us. When they rip all this is why you think cryptocurrency and all these businesses are investing in cryptocurrency, because the dollars are the paper money's getting ready to go. That's part of the plan. Got to get rid of that paper money. So if you ain't invested in something else, they're gonna you're gonna have to get into the government's cryptocurrency. Like the US got a cryptocurrency. Every government is implementing their own cryptocurrency because they can control it and control you when you're on it. But not Bitcoin. They can't control that shit. Or some of these other cryptocurrencies, they want you to be on their shit, their blockchain. So again, get into this. And again, get your external crypto wallet so that you can have your stuff off of the computer. You don't want to have all your crypto on the computer. You want to get a nano wallet, right? This is what they call a cold wallet. So that's away from the internet where nobody can get in there and hack it. Then they got something called a warm wallet where you can just have the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in if you want to just use it when you're on the internet, you can just pull out of it really quickly. So you want to have both of those, but you got to get your education. Where we finding out all this shit? On Clubhouse from all these cryptocurrency masters on breaking all this stuff down in these finance rooms. All of you can have this information. It's not exclusive to anybody. They're breaking off everyone. Anyone can get on there and talk to them. It's crazy. So there is no excuses for us to be financially illiterate after this lockdown, other than the fact that you was lazy as fuck and you didn't figure out how to get an iPhone so that you can get on Clubhouse. Find your homie. Call your homie to your house or some shit. Call your homie up and say, yo, put the Clubhouse on and record it for me so that you can play it later. It's always a way. I got homies that was doing that. I was doing that for my friends before we were able to get invites and bring them in. I was just recording the sessions, then play it on a text feed. So the information is the most important thing. So you got to get out there and get it. And so the last thing I want to talk about, so for the Patreon, for the Patreon people. I don't know how many people have seen my Face of the Dragon documentary. We're breaking down where Dragon Moors, yeah, baby, the Dragon Moors, yeah, baby, woo. No, breaking down how we Dragon Moors and Phoenix Moors, where that mythology comes from. But the video is broken down into 3 parts, and then part 3 is broken down into 3 separate parts on the YouTube channel. That's because they kept hitting me with the the violation thing, the copyright violation thing. So what I'm going to do is I have the video in full, unbroken up. So for the Patreon, my people on Patreon, if you want to go to Patreon. So next week, I'm going to hold the Face of the Dragon watch along, right? So you guys, when we're in there, you guys can ask questions, about the pineal gland and the melanin and all the rest of that stuff that I had in there, the ancient Moors, the history, all that stuff. So we're going to have a watch along, the Face of the Dragon watch along for the Patreon people. That's going to be next Saturday. So get on signed up if you want to get in there. You want to start asking me questions. But then the following Saturday after that, I'm going to have a Q&A for the YouTube channel. So, but that's not going to be a live. That won't be a Zoom. So the face of the dragon will be a Zoom. You guys can come in and it'll be an interactive. You guys can come in and watch it with me on Zoom. So the link will be on the Patreon channel. So that's patreon.com/Reelnagas. The Q&A is going to be on YouTube. So send me your questions. If it's questions that you want, all the Patreon, the people who are on YouTube, questions that you had, these are because I have a lot of new subscribers. So if you got a lot of questions, new questions that you have from joining the channel, hit me with questions. Reelnagas@gmail.com. All right, send me your questions at send me your questions to Reelnagas@gmail.com. And I'm going to pick your questions. I'm going to pick the top best questions, probably the top 20 questions, and do the Q&A. All right, so next week is going to be the Face of the Dragon watch along. So y'all want to do that? Get in there and let's watch this and see how we're Dragon Moors and Phoenix Moors. Also, a TV show to watch this. I mentioned this a few times. That breaks that down is the Witcher with Henry Cavill, episode 6. Go watch that. Go watch this and watch this Caucasian dude that's traveling with 2 African sisters, warriors. Then you start, just ask yourself at the beginning, why is this white dude, this Caucasian dude traveling with 2 African sisters, 2 beautiful African sister warriors? Why the hell? That don't make no sense in this world. They the only 2 sisters there. Only 2 melanated people in the whole goddamn show. Why are they there? Go watch that episode 6 of The Witcher. But again, so I'll be doing the Face of the Dragon watch along next week for the Patreon people. So sign up for that. For Patreon if y'all want to do that. Following week is the Q&A, the YouTube Q&A. So y'all want to know some shit, whatever you want to know, send it to me. Send it to my email. I'm going to pick the best ones and I'll call you out. I'll shout you out on the YouTube, your name and your question, and I will answer it. So that's how we're going to do it. So Face of the Dragon, Q&A, Zoom. I will live. I can't live stream it. Sorry. Damn it. I was going to live stream the Zoom, but I can't because we'll be watching some of the videos that they hit me with the copyright for. So I can't live stream the Zoom on YouTube next week. So that's only exclusively for the Patreon people to watch along. But the next week after that will be the Q&A live stream. So again, send me your questions to Reelnagas@gmail.com, whatever it is. Make sure they're good. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they're pretty intricate. Even if there's short, small questions. Something that's real simple that you figured that you would just been bugging you and pondering you for a minute. Just throw it in there. It definitely may make the list. So no questions are stupid. Just make sure. Excuse me. Just make sure that you're that you're respectful. All right. So that's it for me. Make sure y'all get over it again. Get your law packages. The qualified immunity. It holds even more power now that the Supreme Court has just did a major ruling on qualified immunity. They don't even know. They done fucked up. They done fucked up, y'all. They done gave me the power. They have literally strengthened these these documents right here with that damn ruling. So constitutional rights card down there, qualified immunity. That's the qualified immunity card. And then the qualified immunity notice that gives all the Supreme Court or the court cases that backs up your law, right? That's what this is. This gives you, so when the police officer reads this, they're gonna know, oh shit, these are actual these are cases, these are law cases. Oh shit. So that they know that you're just not talking out of your ass, that you have actual law backing you up. So again, that comes with boom, know your rights manual, public official bonds. Get all of that free if you buy the hard copy melanin book. This dessert, that's your vegetables, and that's how we got to do it. Thank y'all for showing up, and make sure you get the questions to me for the Q&A next week. I appreciate y'all, and love y'all. Holla at y'all next week. Peace.